Well, hello there, YouTube. My name is Nitch, and I'm bringing you Homeworld Desert of Kirak. For those of you who don't know, let me give you a backstory here. The first Homeworld game came out in 1999. Then, years later, they did a remaster, which came out in 2015, early 2015, which I got to play. Never played the original one, but I got to play the remastered version. And gotta say, it was pretty damn good. Good enough I became a fan of the series. I recommend anyone to go pick up Homeworld 1 and 2 and play those. I think 1 was still better than 2, but that's just my preference. So, for those of you who don't know, let me give a backstory on what happened. In Homeworld 1 is about these group of exiles, as to say that, who travel to their don't travel. They don't travel. They're stuck on a they're stuck on this planet called Kirat, and they find a weird artifact in the desert, and they send an expedition, which is this game is about that expedition to find the artifact. They the artifact is more than just like a rare artifact. Well, they find two things. One was a stone, which had a galactic map on it, which told them where the location of their homeworld is from. And second, they found a hyperlink core. Oh wait, hyperdrive core in one of the ships, and managed to re-engineer it and go looking for their homeworld. Now, about the game itself. Just this game. Not gonna talk about. I'm not no longer gonna talk about the previous game, but I'm gonna talk about this game. I quite like it, believe it or not. I quite like it, even though it no longer has the 3D dimensional space battles. It's still pretty well decent. I gotta say, nothing revolutionary here. Some RTSs have tried this before, having one structure like the aircraft carrier has here that you can see on the bottom of the screen that produces all your units and is mobile. It reminds me of that crappy ass RTS that came out a long time ago. Command and Conquer 4. That game was a piece of shit. Now, before I go on a rant about how EA ruined one of the greatest RTS genres, Command and Conquer series, let's just talk about this homeworld here. Now, let me talk about the good things. What I really like about it is that the story is still pretty good, but one negative towards that, like, I knew how it was going to end. I knew they were going to find what they were going to find in Star Homeworld. So, not much. The gameplay mechanics are really good. I love it how you can position your units on top of a hill and then get a buff towards that, an accuracy and damage, which is like my favorite thing. I like to put the rail guns on top and just let them snipe the hell out of the opposing enemy when they're charging at you. Just do heck of a lot of damage. The scenery is very lovely. The graphics came out very detailed and beautiful, but it was all desert, so don't suspect like snow, forest, winter. It's all desert. Even though there is one mission where you had to fight in a sandstorm to get out, and the enemies are surrounding you. The levels are different. Each level is dramatically different from the last. There's no repeats. You go from like fighting in the open area to get being chased to being pinned inside a chasm to fighting up hills where you could collect artifacts. And one thing I really gotta like, and it's just me, I love the chatter between the enemy, between not enemy units, between the units themselves. They're constantly talking to each other like it's an actual battle going on. They're like speaking. They are like, oh, enemy, unknown entity moving in, target as enemy, and you hear the chatter between them. And then one thing I like to talk about is the elevation. When you click move and attack, a little blue circle will appear around your unit and it'll show you how high each elevation. So you get a logist on how high or how low your units are going. So quite useful perk actually. Quite useful. I'm so glad they added that. Now to the negatives. I only can list three. First one is I already knew how the story was going, but at least it was interesting enough and how they not narrate, they push the narrative well enough to keep me interested, and the missions were very dynamic and very interesting. It gave a lot of backstory on the characters you had to deal with because you had to deal. I think it was like 5 or 4 characters. You got Nathan Jet and Intel, Fleet Command, so on and so forth that talked throughout the campaign. And there's actually 2 problems. I only had one. The game actually crashed on me randomly. I was doing a relic drop mission. I was transferring the relic to my aircraft carrier, and all of a sudden the game just crashed, just stopped, and that only happened once. Never happened again. 2, I got a weird bug, and this was very funny. It was that I'm doing one of the missions that the that I had to defend these relics, these little relics of a spaceship. And once you do that, you have to place these little sensors around the map. And then once you do that, the enemy will come at you. And then it says destroy all enemies. So okay, so I sat there. I sat there from a high elevation, sniped, destroyed, did everything. All right, and the game didn't end. So I was like, oh, maybe it's got to be 1 unit left. So I sent my airplanes out to go look for them. I went around the map for about 30 fucking minutes, not bumping into anything. Then I reloaded, restarted from the reload position. Same shit happened again, and then I had to restart the campaign all over again, and the bug was fixed. Lucky for me, it didn't have the bug was fixed. So, but don't worry, it was like mission 3. It wasn't like I was halfway done with the game. I had to restart the whole campaign. Holy shit, that would be miserable. Well, anyway, so that's my opinion on Homeworld, and I recommend it to anyone to pick up, but this is just my opinion. You might have a different one. So like and subscribe and enjoy.